Hello, friends, and happy Star Wars Day. Today is May the 4th, and I thought it would be fun to read some scenes from Star Wars. Now, it's not the screenplay. What this is the adaptation by Ian Doescher several years back. Actually, let me tell you exactly when. 2013, so 7 years ago. Ian Doescher embarked on this journey through the Star Wars trilogy, and this is the first book, Verily, A New Hope, right there. Sorry, I can't see the Star Wars logo. There you go. And I picked some scenes to read. They're short, and they're kind of fun, and I thought you might enjoy them if you don't already know about this series. So here we go. We are going to start with a very familiar scene. In this scene, Vader has confronted one of the rebels on the ship to see where he might find those stolen plans. And he begins by grabbing him by the throat. "My lord, my head and life I value, certain 'tis, and yet to thee I must report we have not intercepted one transmission. This is a consular ship, and nothing more, on diplomatic mission. Thou knave, with thy last breath hear thou this word of this, is but a consular ship, then where is the ambassador?" And the rebel leader dies. "Commander, prithee go, rend thou this ship apart until the plans are found, and bring me any passengers. Upon thy life I want them brought alive." And then the stormtroopers leave. "And so another dies by my own hand, this hand which now encased in blackness is. Oh, that the fingers of this wretched hand had not the pain of suffering ever known. But now my path is joined unto the dark, and wicked men, whose hands and fingers move to crush their foes, are now my company. So shall my fingers ever undertake to do more evil, and this, my hand, shall do the Emperor's bidding evermore. And thus we see how fingers presage death, and hands become the instruments of fate." And then we have a little bit of an aside from R2-D2, shortly followed by a scene in which he's arguing with C-3PO to get into the escape pod. C-3PO begins. "Hold, thou art not permitted to go in. Deactivated thou shalt surely be. Beep, 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 beep. Thou shalt not label me a mindless brute philosopher. Nay, nay. Thou overladen glob of grease, thou imp, thou rubbish bucket fit for scrap, thou blue and silver pile of bantha dung. Now come and get thee hence away, lest someone sees. Beep, 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 squeak. Beep, 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 wheat. What secret mission, and what plans? What dost thou talk about? I'll shortly not get in." Then there's a sound of a blast off stage. "I warrant I'll regret this, so say I." And C-3PO gets into the escape pod, leaving R2-D2 to say, "This golden droid has been a friend, 'tis true, and yet I wish to still his prattling tongue. An imp he calleth me. I'll be revenged, and merry pranks aplenty I shall play upon this pompous droid C-3PO. Yet not in language shall my pranks be done. Around both humans and the droids I must be seen to make such errant beeps and squeaks, that they shall think me simple. Truly though, although with sounds oblique I speak to them, I clearly see how I shall play my part, and how a vast rebellion shall succeed by wit and wisdom of a simple droid." And then he exits into the escape pod as well. Okay, the next scene is when Obi-Wan first encounters Luke. You remember the Tusken Raiders, the Sand People, are attacking. He scares them away. And here is Obi-Wan. "Now enter I the scene of this boy's life. This boy, whom I have watched for many years, hath grown into the man before me now. My hope I now entrust to him alone, that he might be our sure deliverance. And yet this situation warrants care. I must approach with caution as we speak, and meet his questions as a trusted guide. My inner joy I must with patience hide, for certain 'tis it gives me great delight to see him now, his face his golden hair. So long have I watched o'er him from afar, so many hours and days of my life spent in hopeful expectation of this one. In his beginning I shall find my end. This business shall reveal my final stage. Yet in my closing scenes perhaps I'll write a worthy ending to my mortal days. 'Tis possible that in this gentle one the dream I've long awaited shall come true. So I'll compose a final act that shall accomplish two most worthy ends, to set the world aright and save this old man's soul. Okay. So I thought that was interesting because you get to see a little bit inside of Obi-Wan's mind. So I thought that was an interesting idea there. Now, this is the scene where they decide to go after the princess. And Luke says, "Hast thou no heart? She's sentenced to die." Han says, "My sentence is, 'tis better she than I." Now Luke says that as an aside, "How shall I break a heart that loveth not? And how convince a man who lives by wits? He hath not seen the urgency within her eyes. He hath not known the trembling in her voice. He hath not heard the manner of her plea. And yet without his help I fear my errand surely fails. What shall I do? I know that under his exterior more good and noble aspirations lie. But by what tricks of speech to bring them forth, and what persuasions shall his fixed will move? My Aunt Beru hath told me once a tale. She said when first the deep vast Kessel mines were dug, it was revealed that the pearls of greatest value must by clever means discovered be. So did the miners band together so to make a useful tool. This tool would pull the pearls out of the rock in such a way they'd seemed to merge by ruse. This practice had a name, the hammer ploy. Now shall I play a hammer's ploy upon the soul of this good smuggler, coaxing him by means most indirect to rescue good. Thus may the pearl of his still ragged soul revealed be and shine as ne'er before." He says to Han, "I tell thee true, the lady wealthy is." And we all know where that goes. And then this scene here is when they're deciding to attack the Death Star. And Luke offers some encouraging words. "Friends, rebels, starfighters, lend me your ears. Wish not we had a single fighter more. If we are marked to die, we are enough to make our planets proud. But should we win, we fewer rebels share the greater fame. We all have sacrificed unto this cause. Ye all know well the family I have lost. My uncle dear and aunt beloved, I both, and then a mentor great, a powerful friend. As massive as the grief I feel for them, I know full well they'd not have me back down. The princess hath a planet lost, with friends and family alike. How great her pain! And yet as grave as that emotion is, she knoweth they would have her lead us still. And ye goodly men and women too, ye all have lived and loved and lost as well. Your stories are with mine one and the same, for all of us have known of grief and joy, and every one is come unto this day. Not so that we may turn our backs and flee, but that we may a greater courage show, both for ourselves and those we left behind. So let us not wish further ships were here, and let us not of tiny holes be feared. Why, I have with the T-16 back home gone hunting womp rats scarcely larger than the target we are all called upon to strike. And ye brave souls, have your memories of your great exploits in your own homelands. So think on them and let your valor rise, for with the force and bravery we win. Oh, great shall be the triumph of that hour, when empire haughty, vast and powerful, is felled by simple hands of rebels base, is shown the might of our good company, and citizens in Bespin now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, for never shall rebellion see a time more glorious than our strong attack today." And they say, "Aye," and Dodonna says, "Go ye then, and force be with you all." Okay, and the last thing, because I haven't done anything with Han yet, so I figure let's read this part. This part is this is when I guess Luke is saying goodbye to Han for what he thinks is the last time he'll see him. "Now what is this? Thou hast thine only love, thy dear reward, and now thou leavest quick? 'Tis true, I do confess, for I shall ne'er be free unless I use this great reward to clear me from the crushing weight of debt, and be thou honest shall I be remain to fight against a power as great as this? 'Tis foolishness, this fight, 'tis lunacy. Pray, Luke, come thou with us. Thou art a brave and worthy lad, with wit and strength to fight. Speak thou not so, but open up thine eyes. See here what noble cause thou leav'st behind. Look in the hearts of these good people here. Behold the force that keeps rebellion strong. Thou must have eyes to see what happens here. How great the cost of this big battle is. Thou knowest well what talent thou dost hold, to pilot and to lead with manner bold. Turn not thy back upon thy fate, good Han, but turn thy heart, and stay with us to fight. What value hath reward when one is killed? What benefit gives honor to the dead? To try the fight against that station, Luke, is not good courage, rather suicide. Then take thou care now, Han, thou solo act, for certain 'tis the part thou best dost play. Nay, listen, may the force be with thee, Luke. And Luke exits. So that was a conversation between the two of them. I apologize for that misunderstanding. And here's Han. The ship that flies without a thruster fails. Propulsion and direction must one have to navigate the obstacles of space. I know 'tis true as any pilot doth. Then how can I imagine that a man can fly without a conscience as his guide? Without the inner compass of my soul, how can I vainly hope to pilot life? I know what 'tis to choose the right and good. I know the small rebellion's cause is just. I know the people here have need of help. I know all this, but still do harbor doubt. Yet shall my doubts lead me unto this choice? And shall I choose convenience over right? Or shall I choose myself or my new friends? Aye, shall I choose rewards or my own soul? A smuggler's heart doth keep calm time inside. No matter sways a pirate's peaceful pulse, but something stirs in me I ne'er have felt. Is this a rebel's heart I feel within? And that is Han's soliloquy. And last, we have the final takedown of the Death Star. The computer says, the Death Star now in but a minute shall upon the rebel base on Yavin come. And Luke says, once more unto the trench, dear friends, once more, the death of our dear friends we see today, and by my troth, their souls shall be avenged. I was not angry since I came to space until this instant. Strike at us, and thou shalt know the power of the force, thou brute, thou empire full of hate and evil deeds. Aye, pluck us down, and we shall rise again. Our cause is not alone for these good men who here were killed today. Our cause is not alone for those on Alderaan who died. Our cause is for the truth, for righteousness, for anyone who e'er oppression knew. 'Tis not rebellion for the sake of one, 'tis not a cause to serve a privileged few. This moment shall resound in history for every person who would freedom know. So Big, stand with me now and be my aid, and Wedge, fly at my side to lead the charge. We three, we happy three, we band of brothers, shall fly unto the trench with throttles full. And then finally, we have the final. So in this, they have a Greek chorus, kind of. So there's been a Greek chorus throughout this whole thing, kind of serving as like a all-seeing, all-knowing voice. Not necessarily narrating, but now dawns a new day with the sun of peace, the day where the rebels welcome fate, for from their enemies they find release, and now with mirth they come to celebrate. Young Luke, strong in the force, doth walk beside the noble Han, whose valor won the day. The rebels form an aisle and rise with pride, as Luke and Han march forth in grand display. Now Leia smiles and gives them their reward, as each bows low with hope and joy sincere. C-3PO and R2 now restored, look on as brave Chewbacca sounds the cheer. There let our heroes rest free from attack, till darkness rise and empire striketh back. So, this is William Shakespeare's Star Wars, Verily, A New Hope. And there are also The Empire Striketh Back and The Jedi Doth Return. And I think there's more to that, too. I know they definitely did the Phantom Menace, but I'm not sure if they've continued on. I'll look it up and let you know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed that. A few little Star Wars scenes. I know it's not what you would expect on Star Wars Day, but I guess you can never expect anything out of the ordinary from me, can you? All right, so may the 4th be with you, always. Bye.